sometime near the end of this video. And then, oh, was it the last race? What am I doing here? I'm basically standing still, and that's the leader of the race behind me. I didn't even know. Yeah. But first, let's get into my first time experience as a 32-year-old rental karter in an amateur racing cup amongst good drivers. This video is the first race that I ever drove anywhere. This is a track where I tend to go a lot because I live here. Well, I live 2 minutes away from here, so it's very convenient to just pop by, right? And there was this kind of fun cup, not fun cup, but it's like free to enter race. And I thought, let's take part. Anyone can join, so maybe the guys won't be too good that are joining. Well, little did I know, because once I inquired a bit more after ordering it online, the people behind the desk laughed and they said like, yeah, there is a Formula Karting event the same weekend. It was on Thursday, and then you should learn how to get out of the way of everybody, because you're gonna have a bad time if you don't, because these guys are quite good. And then I started noticing the names. These guys are in the high scores quite a lot for every session. They have quick week times on the track, so I was really in for something. But anyway, it was about the experience. I'm asking some questions, how to get the weights, where the weights are, because I weighed in at 80.5 kilos. So I thought like I should get 4.5 more. And he said like, no. Go get 5 kilos and go weigh yourself in again. And then I clocked in at 85.5. So you should know the race is being driven at 85 kilos. So then everybody's weighing in, some have their own seats, they all have crazy equipment. I'm just there in my normal jeans and my normal sweater. They were talking about should I wear my racing suit or not, because is it going to rain? There's the guy in the blue suit, he's the one who's actually going to win this race. But yeah, I am there with minimal equipment. My helmet is just made for normal motorcycles. Well, not motorcycles, like the scooters that go out to 50. So it's a cheap one. My gear in total cost me €100, and all these other guys are sporting crazy... Yeah, not all of them, but you know, the ones that I'll end up in front, they have crazy gear. So maybe good gear get good, right? Anyway, so now I'm trying to figure out, I'm a bit nervous, so I'm still trying to act whether I'm not too nervous, of course, because that's half the way to getting not nervous. Fidgeting with my helmet, putting it on, getting my weight, finding my cart. Still looking around like I don't know some of these faces, so it's interesting to see which of the guys you know how they drive and which ones you don't. Then I'm trying to figure out where my cart is, because it's on this side screen, and usually you don't look at that one, you look at the other one. So I was kind of just trying to go with the flow. Everybody was looking at that one. They explained we need 1 pit stop during the race, but this is qualification, so during the race we'll need to have 1 minute pit stops, and you get penalized if you leave the pits early. I don't know, you see. I'm still nervous reliving all of this, because I thought, well, let's relive it together, right? So I'm putting in my weight, trying to figure out how to attach it. It seems to be a bit of a janky system, but it worked. Like, all it doesn't need to do is bump. So that's what it did, and then everybody's getting in their carts. I'm gonna skip a bit, because let's get to the racing part, right? Everybody's getting ready. Oh, no, wait, they're all on blocks. See, the guy is actually knocking them off bricks. That was a funny sight. I've never seen this before. I think that's the owner actually, but skipping ahead. So everybody's seated. I think everybody's ready to go. That's all of the marshals still, I guess, discussing how this will go. The left guy with the flags, he's a regular marshal, but there's some extras for this competition. Here I'm getting nervous, of course. I know all these guys are very good at driving, and here I am, like a real rookie. I'm a bad driver by a driving name, right? So I think like this is a good opportunity to learn from everybody, because I was putting in decent times for me, but anytime one of these good guys show up, they are so much faster. So I tried staying behind them and figuring out how this is driven, right? And I thought maybe some of them aren't driving here, but turns out a lot of them actually are very well acquainted with this track. So that made it a bit less yeah, I thought I would have an advantage in the qualifications, at least a little bit, at least for the first 5 minutes, but these guys, they know what they're doing, of course. They're all, well, I guess they're all still amateur races, it's rental karting, but they're good, you know. There's a lot of these pro karters who are always complaining about rental karting not being real karting. Well, I think it is. This is racing, people are having fun. It's not that they drive 150 kilometers an hour, but these go up to 50. It's a lot more close paced, and there's quite a bit of action in here. Like, I really enjoy this. It's my first, of course, it's my first racing experience. What the fuck do I know, right? So I let guys pass who are behind me, and I try to stay with them as much as I can once they do. But these guys live for this. Some do also go pro karting, but a lot of them just do the rental karting. They go from cup to cup, and they seem to be having a really good time. So you'll notice there's a few kids in here. They're a bit lower in the kart, of course. So I think there were 4 kids, because I end up in the kid stage. Well, in the kid stage, I end up in back, of course, but there were some kids before me and some kids behind me. So sometimes you'll see them pass, but here I'm just trying to keep up with the pack. I'm still happy, you know. I thought I would be driving alone by now, which isn't really the case. So these guys are all trying to put in a good time, figuring out some lines. I guess they're all just looking at each other just the way I am. And I'm just trying to keep track of who's behind me to let them past. I think this quali was 15 minutes. So yeah, I've done some videos about the inside bits, and you will see the outside bit here too, with the banked curve and stuff. People really love it. Yeah, this guy overtakes me. I think I slowed down. I hope I slowed down, but here it's the first time I will be overtaken a lot, because during the regular sessions people are, well, you know, they're slower, so I tend to not need to look behind me too much. This was the first time where everybody was faster than me. I think this guy, I raced against him before and I kept up, but he was in good shape this time. But I guess I was in good shape last time, he was in bad shape last time. But yeah, here that's what they do, and I tried to keep up. I was quite happy. I thought I was actually doing quite well this qualification, because my best time, my personal best time was around 53 seconds, and I think I managed to get my PB here. So yeah, just in quali, I mean, could do worse, right? But these guys are a lot faster, of course. Mr. White Helmet here, like it would be nicer if people have their names on their helmets, right? So maybe I should get a sticker on the back of mine with my name or some distinction, so people at least know who's driving. Because I saw it in some other karts. It's like the Mario Kart place where you, it's an inside bit. It's with beamers, and they have these Mario Kart tracks with all the special powers. And I don't like the karting in there. It's not really karting, because they only go to 20 and they stop before you can crash. But it's an arcade-ish thing, and the one thing they do really well is that they have a display in the back with the name of the karter. And I really like seeing who I'm driving against. So, because now, of course, afterwards you'll know I'm bad driver. I drive with the red, white, black helmet. But it's easier if you would just have a screen that says like, this is bad driver, and then you know how they behave on track. Especially if you're a beginner like me, you're focusing on the track more than you're focusing on stuff outside of the track. So that's what I'm actually doing. Yeah, but now, as you can see, my pace is going my pace isn't as great anymore because I can't keep up. These guys are driving away from me, and that makes it more difficult, right? It's sometimes if you're driving behind somebody who's better, it's like autopilot. You just copy their lines and then you're magically faster. It's not the best way to go about it, but it's one of the things I tend to do, and then watch the video of how I drove behind them just to see the better lines. But here I can't, of course. Here I'm just eating shit because I'm slower now. I can't keep up, and then there's no way you can catch up again. So it's waiting until the next one catches up, but yeah, here I'm signaling the guy behind me with the bank curve because he's behind me for a while. With this camera you can't see it because it focuses in front. I'm using an Insta360, but I look behind me quite a lot of times just to know I'm not in the way of all the other guys, because I don't want to ruin their experience, and I'm here to learn, so maybe with some luck they recognize me next time and try to show me some of the ropes. But here I'm still taking this corner wide, like the one when you go in, and I can see the guy in front of me, he's cutting them like the others, which is something I only picked up halfway during the normal race. But now it helps me a lot for my times. I shaved off 1 second of my best times on average just because I started doing that kind of stuff. But I didn't notice here. I was still a bit too stressed. I'm sometimes gaining some time on this guy because the sloped curve or the bended corner, whatever you can call it. People take it in different ways, but the inside is just the fastest. That's just the way it is. So if somebody doesn't know, I tend to make up some time. It's maybe a quarter or half a second, but it's some time and I'll take it. But then he drives away because he's more skilled. Which what you really see it inside. That's the way you take these corners. They're not too technically complex, I guess. But the outside bits, yeah, I guess I know those a bit better because they're not too hard to get, except for the second one. Like you'll see this outside bit, which is just take the corner, then hug the wall all the way until the other side. I tend to steer a bit more rough here, just so I scooch. Then here it becomes a bit more difficult because I don't know where to brake yet, but that chicane is not too easy. And then there's another one, and then guess what? This corner. I'm not too good at this corner. Something about the different texture that always knocks me off my game. So I think if I learn that one, I'll shave off a quarter of a second too, but we'll get there someday, right? So this is just normal quali. Let's skip a bit. So these are some of the last laps in quali. One lap takes, as I said, like for these guys 51 minutes something, for me 52 seconds, 51 seconds something for these guys. For me 52, 53 something. And this is the last one, so we're being flagged. I have no idea what I'm about to do because I don't know how to race. This was just a normal session for me with good guys, but then the racing part pops up again. And they said they were going to do a flying start, or what's it called. So I'm just following the guys with the flags. They said something about some flag being waved outside, and there I see them gathering up. Oh, the blue flag. They said the blue flag, and it's the one with the advertisement. Should have stayed in back here, be a bit humble, because these guys, they're probably laughing that I suck, but I didn't want to take up too much space. So this I saw in a video before, the placement, and this guy is making some joke like actually these guys are all great. I like them, but once I get good, maybe I'll talk to them. Now I'm a bit too humble. Let's give it a year. But now everybody's getting their turns assigned. I was last to arrive actually, but so I was thinking maybe I wasn't last in this one. I was hoping, and then there was a little miscommunication, but it's the other guys, of course. And then as you see everybody driving away, it's not a fun feeling to be standing here. I think everybody would rather just drive now, be one of the first guys to be able to start. But yeah, it's just it shows your skill. I'm not too skilled, so I get to not go too early. And then there was a kid still standing. Oh no, there's still one of the good guys. And then I thought like, yeah, okay, at least I'm there. There's one kid, there's two kids. I guess they're practicing. So these were driving at different weight levels, and I think they got penalized with a slower kart. Because they said that some can drive 65, some can drive 85. But then yeah, you see in front of me, like, he's not an adult. The one behind me is not an adult either, and then the one behind that, I don't think so. So I'm yeah, driving for the kid stage. Let's say that 32-year-old everybody driving for for the rookies. So this was actually quite nice. I've seen this in videos, like there's this start and then of course you can't overtake, but once the first guy gets going, then you can just overtake, right? So I'm trying to be cheeky, and then I'll overtake the one in front of me right away, because I think I could. Let me know if that was a mistake. Nobody actually told me, so I don't think so. But yeah, I thought, okay, everybody's going, let's go. And this one, yeah. But this is exciting. It's the first race, you know, and this was a 1 hour race, so I'll be driving for 1 hour now, not knowing whether I could, because I've only driven 15 minutes before. Oh yeah, I'll overtake him here. Maybe he's letting me, I don't know, it's such a weird one. But anyway, I thought like, yeah, let's do this, 1 hour. I've only driven 15 minutes at the time, maybe twice 15 minutes in a row, but not like this. So it was a great experience for me to learn. And I really loved the fact that I could take part in it. So you see a lot of action happening, but I'm already lagging behind. And I know once you're behind, there's no way catching up, because you're one of the slowest guys on track. Yeah, and there's the thing with like the slipstream and stuff too. I guess that it matters less in rental karting, but it'll still matter. And then you need to focus a lot more on trying to gain, but yeah, I know I'm slower, so whatever. But it's cool to see the pack, you know. Maybe one day I'll be part of one of these little groups of 3. That'll be really cool. But I guess I need to do a lot more practice and a lot more races in order to get there. It would be nice if there would be a true beginner's race somewhere. But there isn't. Because why? Nobody's a beginner usually. Everybody's already done some races. The amount of beginners in a year is much smaller than the amount of normal people that drive. But anyway, doesn't hold me back from eating shit during these races. I really don't care. I've been a drummer for a long time, and I've played in a band. And sometimes there's like 500 people having fun. Sometimes there's 3 people like waiting for you to move, because they're the family of the next band and they want to go home, but they want to support their family too, right? So that's how you learn to eat shit. And then if you make mistakes, you eat even more. So that's a part that I already know, and the practice part I already know too. Need to put in a few thousand hours. With the drum kit it's cheaper than with the go-kart, I can say that, but anyway, I'll just keep at it and keep getting better. But this, yeah, I wasn't really thinking about motivation, because I was sure I would end last, but I was trying to maybe keep up with the guy with the white helmet in front of me. So that's my goal, like not be away from him too much. But then the kids behind me, I keep calling them kids, but I have a lot of respect for them, by the way. Don't think I don't, but I really do, because they're already as good as I am at a much younger age. So good job, guys. But I'm trying to keep up with the guy in front of me and not let the other guys pass, because it's a race, you know. I just don't know, if you're much slower, do you need to let them go, or can you drive in front of them as hard as you can? Like, is it acceptable to just try and defend your position, or is it in amateur rental karting that you're just getting blue flagged? No idea. So I chose to just be gentle and let everybody pass that's even near me. You'll see that later in the race too, because there it becomes obvious that I'm always giving them a bit of like a hand gesture, like pass by, and maybe I lost one position in there because I think at the end I led by the one guy who was right in front of me on the kiddie stage. But man, this bank corner, it's really something, right? I love it. Everybody seems to love it too. I get a lot of comments saying it's like Nordschleife, the carousel. Carousel, yeah, I don't know, it should sound a bit more German, but anyway, I'll say it in French. It's built 10 years ago, I think. It's not too old, and they just put some dirt under it, compacted it, and then put some bricks on there. And if you're just a starting driver, it really does a number on your wrists, but once you get used to it, it's quite fine. It's a good workout, you know, and I love it. If there's a time where I can just cruise around, I take the upside, but then otherwise for speed I just stay down. It's a big selling point. In Belgium you don't have too many tracks where you can go outside, and this one you can go outside and you have this kind of banked corner. I hear some inside electric rental karting places are thinking about doing it too in Belgium. I talked to some owner who's going to change up his track in 2 years' time, and he will be implementing some slopes with 360 karting. So that's exciting to see, because they work with floor levels and then some banked corners. I just told him, like, make your track a bit longer. It's quite a short track. You don't want your track being like less than 30 seconds. You more want it to be 40-50. This one is 50 and everybody likes it, so this one pulls people all the time, with the competitive scene included. So I'm a bit farther in the race right now, and there I'm gaining some time on one of the drivers behind, well, in front of me, but I think he's already getting lapped here, because it was the slowest driver. I think it's some kid who's having his first drive too. Maybe his parents enlisted him for his first racing experience. 75 euros for an hour of driving plus qualification, so I think it's worth your money doing this like that. But then, yeah, maybe some really beginner competitions should be nice for guys like him and like me, so we don't get in the way of the pro guys. But here we are, right? This is the only way I can do a race. So he's a lot slower, but I think he's having a good time. Maybe his kart is restricted in speed, but he's taking this corner in the fun way, let's say, not the one I would take it. So that makes me doubt he's really driving for speed. But yeah, let's overtake the guy. He was really, as a young driver, as a young person, you don't necessarily think about everybody else. Like, I know as a teen, I was not into even caring about anybody around me in that extent, but he was really looking around, who am I in the way of, and then he stopped a bit and he drove some more. Maybe he just didn't really compete and he was just driving around to spectate. Could also be the case, I don't know, but yeah, it was interesting to see that kid driving around here. And then I carry on, not being behind anybody. So it would really help if my pace was a bit similar to the others, then at least I would be driving some more decent laps, but I'm trying to just battle myself and be consistent. I usually wear glasses. I don't when I'm racing because I don't like it in my helmet, and I can still see. I'm not blind, you know, so I can still see everything, but just not too sharp, so I can't read the display. I don't know how long I've been driving. I don't know how fast I'm driving. That's information I don't get when I'm on track, so I don't know whether I'm doing any good. So I'm basically competing against myself here without knowing whether I'm doing better or not. So maybe I should start wearing glasses during races. Just oh, that's a bad corner. Yeah, that one I fuck up sometimes. But yeah, it took me a while to just get back into it again. Yeah, after an hour, it's like 60 times more. It's like 70 times on the same track. You start like I guess get a bit distracted with the scenery sometimes. But for this, it really sped by quite fast. I think when I'm talking like this, it takes a lot longer. But on track, it didn't seem like an hour. It seemed like 20 minutes. I think near the end, I'll start feeling some strain in my fingers. So I'll be driving with stretched fingers every now and then. But that's just because I'm not used to it. The next race I'll be driving is 2 hours, but it doesn't have the sloped bend, so I won't be needing to put as much stress on my hand, and then maybe it goes better. Let me skip a bit. So they'll be showing the pit stop sign. It's at a really good spot because you're driving really slow in that corner, and they have a sign that says pits. I just had no idea where. I know that I should be pitting soon. This is the usual entry, so that's not it. And there's the cones, and they're gone. So when should I drive in there? Oh, I guess I was already flagged, so I drove. Good for the guys behind me, because those were the fastest ones, and I didn't know how to get out of the way. So this makes it a bit easier for me to just, And then now I'm asking questions like, where's the timer? Because I was looking at the wrong place. But that's of course the stress again. I was a little stressed. I didn't know. I didn't want to fuck up. And they said like 60 seconds. That's what I ask here. And he's saying like, this guy here, what? But he's nice. I mean, all these people are nice. But they know when there's a rookie on track and when there isn't. Maybe I make more of it than I actually should be. But yeah, anyway, asked a stupid question, waited for the 60 seconds to pass, and then I just leave. I guess I paid attention to who's driving there or not, and maybe I should have left a little sooner. I try to be a bit careful. Yeah, clear track, there we go. One thing that sucks, this pit stop puts you in the traffic more. I think. No, it's a minute, but it's, yeah, it gives you like 10 seconds of a delay. And I was being pretty, how do you say it? I was pretty comfortable driving alone, but now you know you're in the thick of it again, right? And everybody's going to be behind you. Now, of course, nobody should be behind me because I'll be getting lapped, but I don't know which ones of the guys that are actually behind me. So I'll just have a policy of letting everybody pass, but I don't really know how, and I don't really know where. And these guys, they know where, but they'll not be expecting me to get out of the way when I do, which is here. So I didn't expect them to take the corner fully, so they crash a bit against me. I hope they don't, I hope they're fine with it, but it's not the best move. I didn't know that they wouldn't stop a bit. It's a race, of course, but I thought they would brake a bit so they wouldn't corner fully. I'm not going to stop my kart fully either, so yeah, I should figure out how to be lapped, because that wasn't how you do it. But in other points of the game I do it, of the race I do it more. That's what I try to use the bended curve for, because it's quite wide. You're slower if you're up, but I was surprised nobody even cares to take another line, because I get it, it's competitive, but yeah, maybe it's just me. I would take a more left approach, because everybody else will need to as well. But yeah. Oh, there we go. I didn't expect them to overtake me there, but they do, and then I got out of the way for the other guy. I'd have a look, and then I try to keep up with them, of course. I think this is one of the younger drivers in front of me, because because he's a bit shorter, so I'm sorry if you weren't a kid, but I hope you were. I try to keep up with them, but it's not always as easy. As I said, my pace is off by 1 second or more. that makes it more difficult. So here I'm in more traffic. You can see there's still these groups. They're really still fighting for position. I guess is it a thing that people who drive in little groups like this are just doing some teamwork in order to maybe catch up with the others? I don't know. I'm not used to teamwork and teammates, so maybe that's just really the way you do it. I didn't, because I was there alone. I don't know anybody on track. I should start knowing them, but yeah. Pay attention around though. Sometimes you can see a guy with a blue tracksuit. He's the one who's going to win the race. So if you want to see some good driving, then that's the guy who just passed by to the right going outside. That's him. But me, no. You'll see me driving the same way. But here I started noticing some other bits. I've only been driving for a year, and I mean once a month, twice a month, 3 times a month if my paycheck was good. Yeah, I get the same paycheck, but sometimes some more money leaves than I would want, and sometimes some less money leaves than I want, and then I go drive a bit more, which is a healthy way to go about financials, right? So, but I didn't have enough experience on track to know that most of the driving lines are there, and that the average of them gives you an average time, an average decent time. So I started trying to drive on all the track marks, because I figured there's people driving there for an hour, so if I drive on those, that's probably the ones they're taking more. And I tried to learn how to be a bit more efficient. I tried to cut some corners, because that's how you do it. Other parts they don't appreciate it, and here it's all you need to do. So I tried to follow the dirty shit on the track. And actually it started improving by times. It felt like I flowed a bit more, and it's easier to autopilot through it. If you're not driving with anyone in front or behind you, it's all about being consistent and not making mistakes, right? Because I know I can't push all the way to the guy in front, and I don't want to spin off. It hasn't happened for a long time, and I don't want to do it here, because after an hour I guess my focus would have been less, which is okay. I thought it would have been more drastic, but it wasn't. So yeah, I tried focusing on the track marks just to keep consistent times, and then I can focus more when I'm doing that on where do I brake and where do I just need to be a bit smoother. That's what I'm doing here. Let's skip a bit again. I'm in between all the other guys again. I think this is the second time I'm getting lapped by everybody. I was just overtaken by these guys, and I was trying to keep up. Sometimes I felt like I was gaining some time on some guys, and sometimes I felt like no, it's not even close. I think this was one of those times again where it wasn't even close, because you can see them disappear. Drop a gear and disappear, right guys? Anyway, so that corner was fucking me up more and more, because I don't know what's it should be one of the easier corners, and I keep fucking it up. It's just a hairpin. I do hairpins here, no problem. I do the hairpin on the other side, no problem. But somehow outside I can't do the hairpin properly. I always get to no speed at all. It's a bit frustrating, but I guess I should just get over myself and try it out a bit better. So let's have a look here. Yeah. Those guys are driving away from me yet again. Well, less fun, but that's just the way it is. It is the way it is. Okay, fuck it. I'll skip a bit more so we can show more of the end of the race. Now I'm behind some other driver. I think at some point somebody fucked up, so I might need to skip to another part. I'm just leaving some nobody fucked up. I'm just slow. Here I let some guys through, but again I'm at the end of the corner, and the other guy just I guess this was cleaner. I only know that part, just take the outside corner. I don't go too slow, but I know I'm already like half a second slower than the others. I'm getting a blue flag, but I know I really suck at letting guys overtake me. I was in the way of that guy, outside corner, and then I just said pass. I thought he would go into the inside corner a bit more, but he didn't. So yeah, I'm a bit less predictable in that sense. So anyway, I'll learn, but I guess I should have just given it full speed and then get to the outside of that corner. So we're getting to the bend again. I was hoping I could stay near these guys, because at this point my hands are a bit more sore. You can see sometimes I'm letting go, sometimes I'll start stretching my fingers. But other than my fingers, it was still fine. But it would have been more motivated. I would have been more motivated if I would have at least stayed behind someone. If somebody else would get a bit more sore, a bit tired. But these guys seem to be used to that kind of stuff. So yeah, shouldn't be a pussy, and I should just soldier through. Let's say, like when I just started karting, a session of 15 minutes did more to my body in terms of soreness than this hour did. So I'm already getting there. Maybe I should hit the gym a bit more so I can get rid of that last few bits in my hands. So anyway, still some corners. You can always visit this track. It's Goodwill Karting in Olen. So if you're in Belgium, by the way, yeah. So if you're in Belgium, in Antwerp province, I would recommend dropping by here. But they are quite busy a lot of the time. So always give them a call ahead, because sometimes you arrive to a full cafeteria and then there's nothing. Yeah, you can't drive. Some of the fastest guys are to the left now. They're overtaking. I think did somebody go off track, because I think there's less carts. At some point somebody went in the pits, but yeah, I'm not gonna sift through the footage to just see whether I even managed to capture that. But yeah, to the right, the pack again. It is fun when they're always at the end of the corner though, because then you have a reference. Did I do a fast lap or did I do a slow lap? If they're not in sight anymore at some corners, I know it wasn't good. So that's what I started paying attention to. So it's like these micro races in my mind. Yeah, okay, the corner is getting better. I did improve my PB during this race, but then I went back afterwards and crushed that by half a second. So I learned a lot from this race, but don't expect any good times anymore. And then the one guy that I managed to overtake a few times is this one. So nothing too exciting, but yeah. Let's see. I'll overtake this one and then I'll skip ahead. He's really see how well he goes out of the way though. That's like a good kid. It's a good kid. I would have been a lot different back then. So I'm skipping. So we're nearing the end of the race. I told you already I can't read the screen, so I don't know how many seconds there are. I think maybe somebody's behind me now that I shouldn't be letting past, because I was in the same amount of overtakes with the other, with two others. I think one in front of me, one behind me at the end of the race. So I think I may have cocked up there, but anyway, who cares? The people are already gone too. They're sick of it. Oh no, they're talking over there. That's funny to see. Like we're out there driving for an hour, and then the people cheering you on. They get bored after half an hour. And they go to the cafeteria. Like I hope they had pancakes, but I know there's some croque monsieurs there as well. Oh, I think that's a different helmet color than the other guy. Maybe I'm gaining some time there. Something's wrong with the kart. I actually had it at World Karts in Kortrijk, where a kart overheated from a normal session. So as I was expecting one of the karts to at least do that. Oh no, it's the same kid. I expected it to happen in this session too, but it didn't. So who knows? These karts may be better, but I would really doubt that they have bad karts at World Karts. So maybe it was a fluke. I'll make a session video about that one too, and then you'll see. Because I was there with friends, it was a lot of fun. Like if you can, Like, this is good and all, like the races and the sessions, but if you're with friends, karting is a lot more enjoyable. I guess it's the same for pro karting, but with regular rental karting, if you can take some friends with you, it's always a better time. I'm actually trying to convince one of my friends to drive with me in as a team. I'm sorry, because it's a 2-hour drive race, and then you're supposed to do 5 pit stops, and it's supposed to happen with a team, but you can drive alone too. It's 150 euros though, damn, just to eat shit, because they say it's a starter race, but then there's some other, yeah, maybe I shouldn't take too much account of that, we'll see for ourselves, but there's some of the other owners around that are saying like, oh no, they're actually letting experienced drivers drive the starter rookie race, because they want to get them in the regular races, but a bit away from the middle of the pack and a bit more in front. So I don't know, I hope it's not going to be that case, because I still have a dream that I would want to win a cup once in my life. Well, not like one race, give me 3rd place, and I want to have the physical cup to just put in my drawer, you know, then I would be happy. What goals, right? But I would be really happy if I can just be 3rd place in some race sometime. Then we'll just see. I enjoy making these videos, but what racing, I would want to just be like that. First goal would be to just be in the middle of the pack, right? Just have some of the normal good guys behind me. Means I'm getting better. So maybe I should... They have a fun cup here. Yeah, that's right, they have a fun cup here, but I think it's only to subscribe once a year. I'll try that next year, and I'll make some videos about that, my progress in those cups. If you think that's a good idea, let me know, blah blah blah, right? But I think it would be interesting to see, yeah, a 33-year-old by then driving his first race cup, and then see where it goes, because it's all teens in there. And then, oh, was it the last race? What am I doing here? Oh, I'm basically standing still, and that's the leader of the race behind me. I didn't even know. Yeah. They are getting lapped, the other guys. So, oh, I'm glad that I did that move, because, yeah, that's number 1 and 2 of this race. And if I would have fucked that up, then they would have been mad. That's number 3. Yeah. Oh no. Yeah, I think that's the guy I thought I shouldn't let pass, but he's number 3. Good that I did, because I don't wanna... They do the regular races here too. They're part of the Racing Cup, and I wouldn't want to fuck them up. What's he signaling? Oh, it's the last lap. Last lap. I didn't know they would sign it like that, but yeah, I can't read the time, so that's all I can get, right? So... At least I saw the winner of the race drive 1 lap before he won. They got a beer, so, and of course a cup. So that's something I wouldn't be getting anytime soon. So I'm maybe a bit envious, but who knows how long he's been driving for, right? So I will try to learn from these guys. I just didn't know I was so close behind them though. I mean, I was 5 laps behind, but here in the last lap I could see them like drive real cool. Should have my GoPro on next time so I can see their lines a bit better. Yeah, there we go, end of the race. Now I have no fucking clue, I shouldn't swear, I have no clue what to do, so I thought like I'll just slow down, follow the flags, and then here we are. It's a parking area, so I'll damn, all these good guys, and then there's me. Anyway, so I was sweaty. I was really sweaty in here. Not as in putting effort, the RuneScape sweaty, but I was just literally sweating. I didn't expect that, so I should wear clothes that are better for sweating. My actual sweater was just drenched. My helmet was drenched because I wasn't wearing the cap. Big mistake too. The airflow isn't too good in my helmet, so yeah. I knew we should weigh in now, but I just didn't know when. So I waited. There's people getting out, there's some petrol. Yeah, it's actually funny to see the petrol cart. It looks so janky. But then I thought like, let's wing it, and there we see apparently he's being told he won. So yeah, good job, guy. He's older than me, I think, but he should be driving for a long time already because he was putting in a really good time, and he wins the cup races in decent pace too. So good job to you, Proficiat. And then the other ones I don't know, but they're carrying a lot more weight than I do, so maybe I should slim down a bit. Oh, that's a lot younger than I thought he was. Or maybe it's because of my camera. Anyway, so I just follow everybody else. It's just a matter of winging it. I have my weight in my hand. And what I didn't know, so I weighed 80.5 at the start of the race, I said, and I have a weight for 5 kilos. So that puts me at 85.5. Oh, no. I weighed 81 and I took 5. So I weighed 86. And then when I weigh in now, I'm 85.5. So I lost half a kilo of sweat during the race. So I don't want to be the one needing to be close to my armpit right there, but I stunk like, oof. And then I'm brushing against everybody like, I'm sorry, guys. But anyway, I was really startled that I lost half a kilo in just fluids from driving the race, so always take some leeway. There was somebody who weighed 85.0. You don't want to be the guy who weighs 84.9, because then you get a penalty and that might cost you some spots and maybe even a podium finish. So yeah. Anyway, that's the end of the race. I hope you enjoyed the video, my ramblings. Let me know which parts you want to see maybe analyzed a bit more. I'll try to do that because it's just a locked camera mode. I can watch 360, so let me know if you want to see any of those things, and have a good time, guys. Bye bye.